Waycross Community Media, in conjunction with the Southwestern Ohio Wrestling Coaches Association, brings you the State Wrestling Tournament Consolation Finals. We're bringing coverage from Wright State's beautiful Irwin Nutter Center. Actually, this is the last time we're going to be here for the state tournament, Greg. And what we're going to be covering will be the matches for 3rd and 5th place here this afternoon. Each of the wrestlers that will be wrestling in the matches that are coming up have lost at least one match here in the tournament, and they're just completing the semifinal round, and that decides who wrestles for 3rd and who wrestles for 5th. And we'll be covering all of our local wrestlers as we go through the consolation finals. It gets a little bit crazy in here because we have multiple wrestlers competing in the same weight class. We've got 3 divisions, 16 wrestlers per weight in 14 weights. That's a whole bunch of people. I think it's 224 wrestlers in each division. So there's an awful lot of people in here. Greg, tell us a little bit about the team score at this point.
Well, right now, Dave, basically Lakewood St. Edwards out of Cleveland is kind of running away with the Division I team score. They're out 62 points ahead of Nardonia, 152. The local teams probably were not anybody in the top 10 this year. Harrison's doing the best. They're number 10 right now. Yeah. And of course, they've got a few wrestlers wrestling here. We'll probably see a couple of them in the consolation finals and in the finals. Division II, St. Paris Graham from north of Dayton. He's got about a 2.5-point lead over Lake Catholic. So that's really the closest team score. As far as we're concerned, there's a lot of Division III schools, which aren't too many of those down in Cincinnati area. Most of our competitors are either in Division I or Division II this year. But we started out with 58 wrestlers here at the start of the tournament Thursday, and we've got 5 kids in the state championships, and I think we got another 15 or so in these consolations here that we're going to see today.
You know, this is the premier wrestling event in the United States for high school competition, Greg, and to make the Sweet 16 is in itself a remarkable accomplishment. To place in the top 6 is something that ends up producing a lifetime of pride. And these young men, though there are kids that are coming off the mat here, and you and I have both seen them here today, that are coming out here extremely disappointed when they lose in the semifinals and they know they're only going to be wrestling for 5th. If they could just put it in perspective to understand that they're one of the top 5 or 6 wrestlers in the entire state in their weight class, that's a remarkable accomplishment.
Oh, without doubt. And as we've seen in most of the matches here, it could be today their 5th place. Tomorrow they could have been 3rd place. They're a point apart. We've seen a lot of matches go into overtime, sudden death, the second overtime. There's not a lot of variation or degree of difference between a lot of these wrestlers between 1st, 4th, 5th, and 6th. So there's a lot of competitive athletes out here and a lot of good abilities. And Cincinnati's doing a nice job this year. I think we're
there's some of the Harrison contingent right there, as a matter of fact. Now, this is what a wonderful facility this is here at Wright State. It's jammed. It's standing room only. You can't. It's the hottest ticket in Ohio. Well, I guess next to the U.S. Wrestling Nationals, it'll be held up at Cleveland State. But they can't put as many people in at Cleveland State as we've got here for the high school tournament. And so it's something that you gotta constantly. Here's this will be our
Nick's
first
Patola.
wrestler up.
Yep.
There's Nick Patola of Cincinnati Elder at 103 pounds will be coming in here. Coach is not doing anything other than getting Nick's neck loosened up. Yeah. Nick is a freshman.
He's not a chiropractor here. He's not just getting him ready.
Nick is a freshman, and to be here in Division I as a freshman and be placing in the tournament is truly a remarkable event.
See the intensity on some of the faces of the Northwest coaches staff with their heavyweight in the consolations.
Yeah, what we're doing is killing just a little bit of time right now because Patola is going to be going on the mat following that heavyweight match, and we're at this point waiting to decide that. And incidentally, the match that's ahead of us involves the Northwest wrestler. You saw Dexter Carpenter
and St.
Xavier.
Yeah,
right.
So
wrestlers from the same district are facing one another, and that happens a lot here at the state tournament. Especially as you get here to the end. I was talking with one of the coaches, I guess it was Craig Williams from Taylor, and he was saying that in his lads, Tony Brock's weight class, it's 4 kids out of Akron and Tony that are fighting for the 5 places. So you run into this a good bit.
Well, I think actually we're getting ready. Actually, I think he's going up on the mat before.
Tony Brock, maybe.
Tony Brock's coming up at the same time.
Yeah, this is going to be, and we have to, we can't do anything about it, folks, but we're going to be ending up perhaps not being able to provide full coverage of some matches just because they're on at the same time. We have a 3-pounder and a 12-pounder coming up in different divisions, and so they're going to be competing in different weights.
So here
that's Chauncey Profit from Sandusky.
That'll be Nick Patola's opponent.
That's Nick Patola's opponent.
Well, we've got, besides having that individual wrestler, it's so good. We've got a lot of depth this year in placers, top 6 positions. Like you said, it's not just this state, where there's 50 states out there, and this is like one of the premier top 3 states in the country. So a lot of capable wrestlers here with a lot of skills. Brock's wrestling on mat 4. Tony Brock's from, there he is.
There's Tony Brock.
Nothing, a 112-pounder.
He's from Taylor. He wears the brown and gold singlet. He's the one that's out of bounds, or almost out of bounds at this point. His opponent is Paul Hadmarski. He's out of Olmsted Falls. He comes into the tournament 31-10. He's a junior. And Tony Brock comes in with a 38-3 record. He's a sophomore, and this is a great accomplishment. Tony was here last year, and getting that experience of being here is so terribly critical and so terribly important. Brock gave up the takedown and trails 2-0 at this point.
As you can see, there's 2 referees. We might mention in Consolations, in the first period, there's only a 1-minute time period for the first period when they're both starting on their feet in the neutral position. Second and third period, we have the regular 2-minute periods as we start. We're getting ready to start the second period.
Yeah, we have, the 103-pound match has started with Patola has started.
Okay. As you can see, there's 6 matches going on here. It's second period. Both men on their feet at this point.
This is Brock and Hadmarski, Hadermarski, I guess that is, from Olmsted Falls. It's Hadermarski in on the single on Brock. We have you probably have a better view. We're having to watch a monitor ourselves to let people know. You'd think that since we're mat side, we'd be able to see. That's wrong.
Yeah.
We haven't a clue physically.
Okay,
now
great.
We got
I got both
screen.
matches.
Yeah.
That's what we need. Okay, you can see Nick Patola on the top in the white and purple. Probably a little blue on the screen. He's winning 2-0 at this point. He got a takedown the first period. He's also in the second period. So Nick's working that bar arm, keeping the head down, a lot of pressure on that shoulder. Now you're going to see a lot more aggressive wrestling here at the state level because they don't mess around, the officials, I'm saying. They want you wrestling, they want you working for a pin at all times, and they'll call you for stalling and rather quickly. And they'll call you for stalling again. And if I've seen them if you have 4 calls of stalling, you're on your way home.
That's right. It does happen. It's and that's one of the reasons that getting here as a youngster is so important. There's several items that really bother kids when they get here. One is the size of the arena, because they've not been in arenas this size, although that's not as big a problem as it used to be. Increasingly, we wrestle in large arenas with multiple mats and so forth. And so that's not as big a problem. But the way the referees call matches now, and they're so much tighter on stalling especially, really does disconcert people.
Good effort by Brock on his stand-up. Now if he can break break free there, get his 1 point. There we go.
Yeah, Brock and Patola both are wrestling for 5th place. That's Patola of Elder on the upper half of your screen, and Tony Brock of Taylor on the lower half of your screen. They're Brock got his escape. They're back on their feet. I believe the match now
7-1.
7-1?
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you've got better eyes than I do, Greg, because I can't even find the scoreboard at this point.
Got just a better angle, Dave, just a better angle. Okay, you see Nick working at top, working control. He's got 21 seconds here in this second period, which he's had really pretty good control of the whole match. I haven't seen a whole lot of offensive move from the guy on the bottom. He stood up with one time, but Nick's basically controlled the hips pretty well here.
That Profit was, I talked with Brian Brakeman earlier today. We're going to have that in an inset interview later in the tournament. And I was talking with Brian Brakeman. He was talking about the gathering of information, and he goes so much on last year's performances, and then he goes with this year's results from tournaments. Well, Nick Patola comes in as a freshman, so he has nothing to go on, and Profit was indicated as being an outside shot to be placing fairly high in the tournament.
I'm not sure. Well, we got a caution there on Profit for moving a little early. I think they already gave Nick a warning for stalling there when he was hanging on that ankle a little bit.
Well,
earlier.
Nick Patola is only a freshman, and so since he doesn't have a record to depend on, obviously he isn't going to be listed by the Brakeman report. And in addition to that, Nick has placed second in each of the tournaments that he's competed in this year, generally falling to Smith from St. Xavier, who didn't get through this year. But Spatola is a very experienced wrestler. He was second in the folk style nationals in his age group and seventh in the freestyle world trials in his age group. So he's well experienced with major tournament wrestling, and that's an important thing.
Well, and that's that summer wrestling in a kids club, in which we'll be discussing a little later. We'll have some interviews discussing that. The youth wrestling programs at Cincinnati have developed greatly in the last 5 years, and that's why we're seeing that, coming into the high school level now, there's some athletes with years of experience, that they're not just rookies coming on the mat here. They've got probably more matches in the summer than some guys wrestle a whole high school season.
That's right. Yeah, we got that's Nick Patola of Elder in the top frame, and in the lower frame is Tony Brock of Taylor.
Yeah, Brock's match is 8-3, and Nick's still winning 2-0 here with 1 minute and 24 seconds to go. Okay, no takedown.
That's Nick Patola of Elder on the right. And it looks
Injury
like
time.
Chauncey Profit is a little bit hurt. Now we're back to the
39 seconds, Dave. It's 8-4, and like I said, now they've given a stalling call to the Brock's opponent.
Hedermarski.
Yeah,
Hedermarski. Olmsted Falls.
You're not allowed to sit around and just hang on and try and run the clock out here. So if Brock can keep pressure on, he's just one big move away from it.
Brock's going to have to come up with something.
There's
major
another
here.
warning.
Oh,
there's another
second warning. Blocking off. The referee is on Brock's side at this point. It's going better for him.
There's Patola back at the top.
Patola get an escape, right?
I think they both started neutral in that third period.
You got to put a plug in for the Waycross crew here today. This is a major event for running our coverage of high school sports, and of course it's the conclusion of our high school coverage for the season. But there's about 8 or 9 individuals from volunteers of Waycross here making this all come possible to. Well, Tony Brock ends up 6th in the state. Lost to Paul Hedermarski of Olmsted Falls, but Tony gave it a good shot.
Spatola's in on the double, goes switching off to the head. But Profit took him out of bounds. 22 seconds left here in the third period. So Nick's blocking off pretty well.
Yeah, well, we've still got a split screen. The action on the lower screen.
Probably isn't anybody from our
I don't think that's
area.
one of ours. The next one that we'll be picking up after this Patola match will be Josh Thompson match at 119 pounds in Division III.
Okay, there we go, and there's our 5th place finisher from Cincinnati Elder, freshman Nick Patola. Yeah, there's a happy young guy. All right, good start for a freshman season. Now he can just work his way up from there.
That's pretty impressive. That's a wonderful accomplishment. There you can see Dick McCoy. I did it.
You got you.
Yeah, I did it. Want to make a point, want to raise a very important point for you. Coach McCoy was unable to be here Friday night for a competition. His son, Todd, was involved in an industrial accident and was severely burned. He is now resting quietly in the Burns Institute at University Hospital. We want to send our best wishes for a speedy recovery to Todd McCoy, and Todd, let everybody know that we're pulling for you, buddy. Hope you get well soon.
Okay.
We're going to be going over here to mat 2 as we come up.
It's on mat 2. Josh Thompson from Bethel Tate.
Oh, you're correct. It is mat 1.
We're joining that mat in progress.
This 119 pounds Division III competition for 3rd place. Joey Simcoe of Johnstown Northridge comes in with a 41-1 record. He's a junior against Bethel Tate's Josh Thompson, who comes in with a 40-4 record. Josh is a senior and just got taken down.
A 3-2 match. Josh is in the red.
No, yeah, that's correct. Yeah,
so he's winning 3-2.
Red and silver.
He's going to reverse him back.
Yeah, he's got the reversal. Now
got him to his back.
That's a 5-2 match.
Did he get a count is all. So you can see the scoreboard in the background. 9 seconds left. Now he's reversed again. He's got to hold that leg.
Yeah, he's got to control that leg because Simcoe is about to come out and get a reversal on him, but to no avail.
Oh, getting a little excited there. Need to concentrate on wrestling here. That's the end of that match.
That's the end of the match. Goodness, we missed the beginning of it. Well, that's the problem here with 6 mats going. We're lucky to find ourselves in here. But anyway.
Well, we did get to see the end, the best part of it. So,
senior Josh Thompson of Bethel Tate comes through with the 3rd place championship for the Bethel Tate Tigers in Division III.
Okay, well, we'll be coming up with, that's our 119 match. We've got 2 matches at 125. We've got Justin Wilcox wrestling for 3rd and 4th, and Mike Weihoff from Fairfield wrestling for 5th and 6th. Those 2 met in the match earlier this morning with Justin winning 6-0. And so we've got several kids in the same weight class that competing here for placement position.
Well, that's one of the great things, and fortunately, at least I can remember, Greg, the days when we were happy if we had anybody in the consolation round at all coming out of Cincinnati, and we had a pretty thin showing in the championship matches. We're getting more and more kids in the championship round, and that's the a good sign of the continued growth of wrestling in our area.
Yeah, we've got a little break here between that matches because we've got the previous match in front of them. We got about 4 or 5 minutes here before either one of those 2 comes up. A good time to mention some of the other kids that competed here that aren't in for a position for placing. Mark Haygood from Glen Estee at 112 pounds, and Marlon Bonner from Princeton also at 112. Have wrestled. I think Marlon won a match earlier. Chris McIntyre from Lakota West. Those 3 at 119 pounds. So those 3 made it up here. Got an opportunity to wrestle in the state tournament. didn't place, but certainly had a successful season.
Well, that's again, I've got to reiterate that, and we left a lot of kids at home this year. You always hear when we get up here to the state tournament, the northeastern part of the state, crying about how many great kids they leave behind. We leave a lot of kids, great kids, back at home also, that didn't get through for various reasons. It was a 1-point call. It was it could be one of many different things could cause a kid not to make it through. An injury, and this, of course, is one of the big problems this time of year. The medical staff here, by the way, Greg, is remarkable.
Randy Roble here.
A fellow who's well known to Cincinnati wrestlers for a long time, Dr. Randy Roble, who used to be in Cincinnati and now is in Columbus, is co-director of the physicians that cover the tournament. There are trainers at each table on a continuous basis. The care that's given the kids here in competition is just unequaled anywhere anywhere around the area.
Well, there's always the nosebleeds and of course the blood requirements now is you immediately stop the match and protect all the wrestlers. So the officials also are prepared. They're watching to make sure there's no dangerous holds, that the wrestlers are taken care of, so to speak, and protected from serious injury.
That's one of the things too, Greg, is that officials who work the state tournament, not only do the wrestlers themselves have to work really hard to get here, the referees who work the state tournament get psyched for it as well. I was talking to Doug Clements, who's here for the first time this year, and his eyes were as big as saucers. He said, "This is the greatest thing I've ever been around." As a referee, the chance to work the state meet is something that is extremely honorful, and these guys do a great job. The referees out here are just call consistently great matches.
We've got 4 representatives from Cincinnati: Fred Warren, Dick Lowenstein, and
Doug
Clemens, and somebody else here.
Yeah, you're right.
I know we have 4 up here, but
and that's dictated somewhat by each region of the state sends so many referees to the tournament based upon the number of competitors, and the referees are selected on the basis of a vote by the coaches that at the beginning of the districts turn in ballots for the different referees in a region, and then the ones that get the greatest number of covers, they end up being selected to work the tournament. Freddie Warren.
Fred, I mentioned.
Freddie Warren.
I'll tell you who it is here. We'll figure it out.
We're trying to go back through and remember who it is, who our 4 are. Kent Hugentoba.
Kent
Hugentoba.
There you go. And we're looking at him out here on mat 3 right now. I'm looking right at him. So.
Well, there's an extreme graphic.
Colorful tattoo there, huh?
We've talked about tattoos a number of times at the state tournament, and that's probably the most extreme one we've seen.
Usually see a lot of them on the thigh, right above the ankle, that kind of stuff, little devils and stuff like that. But
and we have to be real honest with you. We have absolutely not a clue as to who we have on the screen at this point. Oh yeah, that is 125.
No, that's not.
It's not Wilcox?
No, that's not.
No.
That's the match before him. That's 119. That's a match early, the round earlier. That's the 119 third and fourth place match.
Okay.
But as soon as that match is over, that's when we'll get Justin Wilcox and Roger Merrill.
Yeah, either that. Yeah, that's fine. We're as we say, this is a match we have no idea who we have competing.
We'll probably go to
Heights.
We'll probably go to mat 6, which is Weihoff. Mike Weihoff will be going for 5th and 6 here in about a minute. That'll be our next local coverage, because this match has just started on mat 5, which is for 3rd and 4th.
You were here last night, Greg, when they started the semifinal round. They introduced the Maple Heights teams, and the great. There's one of the real traditional names in Ohio wrestling is Maple Heights.
Milkovich's family. Yeah. Press and Tommy, and there were 4 brothers. I think they won a total
Mike,
of.
Tom. I can't.
Won about 8 state titles between them.
And there's cousins on top of that.
Oh, sure.
That's a Maple Heights wrestler, and that uniform has been the Maple Heights uniform.
Nice throw there. Caught him.
For over 30 years.
And they're not usually in that position either, Dave.
No, that's true. Maple had slipped a little bit with the advent of St. Ed's, and Nordonia has climbed up into the higher ranks of the state.
Well, you know, we usually talk about Walsh Jesuit, which is a story in itself. They're not even in the top 10 in Division II, where 2 years ago they were national champions. And boy, their program, St. Ed's, has kind of reclaimed the throne, if you will.
In Cleveland area,
And Walsh has dropped out, and that's all. I think a lot of that can be related back to the youth programs. You know, which youth program is really running the best kids up to the high school level?
Either that, or to be somewhat, maybe not as facetious as it ought to be, but maybe they're just doing a little bit better job of attracting or making it possible for really fine wrestlers to attend St. Ed's.
Yes, that could be part of it. That was a good way to say that too, Dave.
Well, you got to be careful, because recruiting isn't done. But you know what happens in a lot of cases is that the really outstanding wrestlers have a tendency to cluster, and they kind of group together a lot, where it's possible. Okay, we should be going
there's Mike Weihoff in red against his opponent is Scotch. Is it Gary? Yeah, Gary Scotch from Madison, a junior, came in here at 33-0 and basically lost his first match to Travis Key, who also beat Mike Weihoff in the semis. So now they're wrestling for 5th and 6th here. Mike's a freshman from Fairfield.
Another freshman.
Coming out of that youth program.
Coming in here.
And
that's really great getting the freshman in.
Scotch is in on the leg. 2-point takedown.
Well, as a freshman, Mike is 32-7 at this point of the season. That's a pretty impressive number.
Not a bad year. Yeah, the youth program that he's, Fairfield's come out of, he's got an older brother that wrestled that was also up here. We had 2 sets of brothers. In fact, at 125, Justin Wilcox's brother, Jason was a 19-pounder wrestling up here, and Mike's brother, Barney, was a 140-pounder. So
there's a lot of family connections between coaches. We'll be seeing a wrestler from Lebanon, Greg Abrams' son, is competing in here for the consolation matches, and you run into this a lot. We pick up a lot of father-son combinations, and out of the northern part of the state, one of the things that always was the force that kept the North dominating affairs was that they had 2nd and 3rd and 4th generation wrestlers coming through things. It's a good picture of Gary Scotch of Madison. Madison's one of the top teams in Division I.
Okay, second period, Scotch took neutral position, doesn't feel comfortable underneath.
Out of bounds.
Yeah, you have a freshman here that's, he's not a freshman anymore. He's already got 40 matches under his belt this year. The freshman part's over with.
Yeah.
Mike likes to throw a lot. He's trying to underhook there for a hip toss, pancake, whatever, head and arm. It's kind of his bread and butter.
Gary Scotch in the blue singlet from Madison leads 2-0.
Half a fireman gets in on a fireman. Weihoff's trying to fight it.
Weihoff's got to get his hip out.
Yep, keep the head locked. Coach is trying to get him to fight off his back.
Coach drops on his. Oh, that's interesting. And he's counting on top of it. Out of bounds.
Six to nothing now. He gave him 2 points, back points on that. Okay, as you said,
there's
checking
a
his
good
shoulder.
example. There's a trainer stepping out there. Mike exhibited a little bit of problem with his shoulder, and the trainer was on the scene immediately. He's going to check him to make sure that his shoulder's okay. Mike is saying at the same time, oh, it hurts a little bit, but it's not that bad. Get going.
Yeah, little injuries don't count here.
At this stage of the season, everybody's running around with little injuries.
Okay, coming up shortly here on mat 5 will be Justin Wilcox again at 125, wrestling for third and fourth. Mike tries a little standing Granby. Doesn't make it work.
Scotch is a very dominant rider. I think that's
strong.
Characteristic of Northern wrestling to a very large extent, Greg, is they ride the daylights out of you.
And force, a lot of power to it, not just hanging on. They're trying to really drive that head into the shoulders, get them down, force them over, and get back points there.
Weihoff with his stand-up, hand control, tries to hip heist or step out of it.
If we can get that long view, we can get both mats 5 and 6. We'll watch both of these matches here. This mat 5 started with Justin Wilcox on mat 5. There we go. There's Justin Wilcox in the foreground in the black. See, looks like they're conferring. As you can see, that back ref confers whether they felt like there was a takedown or not. Felt there wasn't.
That's Roger Merrill of Mansfield-Madison.
State champion last year at 119.
That's right. And here he is wrestling for
third and fourth.
Third place.
And this is an interesting match here. In the championship round in the quarterfinals, Justin Wilcox is winning 5-0. Got called for several stalling points. Oh, there was that throw at the top that we didn't have. He basically lost the match to Roger Merrill with 4 seconds to go to get to the semifinals. So
this is the rematch here. That's Justin Wilcox in the black.
Oh, no time. Very close, very close.
Justin Wilcox in the black singlet. Roger Merrill in the green of Mansfield-Madison. Weihoff and Scotch
6-1
match behind them. This is Wilcox in the defensive position. It's a 125-pound match for third place.
Okay, Justin tries to clear the elbow. Merrill just kind of keeps the weight on him.
Tie. Yep. Now, interestingly, you know that we were talking, Greg, about how stalling is penalized very quickly, and yet you see a lot of very conservative wrestling anyway.
At this point, it's kind of a little bit. I think in the semifinals is where you see the real throw it out the window kind of wrestling, because it's all they got left. Their chance to get to finals here. It's not necessarily cut and dried, but you know your place, and you know where you're going to place the 5th and 6th. It's not as critical. At semifinals, hey, you could be out of there, or you could win the state title. Still, there's a big variation. Well, Merrill's holding Justin down pretty well. Justin finally, thought he got his hands free, but couldn't clear his hips quite far enough.
He's get that. Now that's a good example of what you might call aggressive stalling, Greg.
Yeah.
Because
looks like,
as a matter of fact, that is a stall call. It was set up in the state tournament in whatever year it was in Cleveland. And Bob Dalton, who now is superintendent of schools somewhere here in the state, was involved in was involved in the tournament that year. And Kurt Rockel, one of our local referees, made a call at 165 pounds. In those days, it was 165.
Yeah.
Of a kid that just kept. The kid used to take the defensive wrestler's leg, stand up, and hold it up in the air. And Rockel finally hit him for stalling, and that became a national interpretation after that point. They call it the Kurt Rockel rule.
Well, you can see on the top screen, basically the coach is just kind of hanging on to Weihoff's leg and getting away with it.
I don't think they're applying that rule effectively anymore.
Well, in that case, they were both up. It's 25 seconds. We got a reversal for Justin Wilcox there.
What's that bring the score to? Can you see the
2-0. 2-0. That's the first points. So nice reversal now. He's got the arm barred. And got it over the back.
One of the real significant wrestlers in the area, Justin Wilcox. He's made a great name for himself and his family in the greater Cincinnati area.
Yeah, there's the Russell family. He's got an older brother that wrestled for St. X, younger brother still at Oak Hills. Yeah. Got another one coming through this kids club system here. That's the end of that match above 125. The winner, Gary Scotch for 6th place, though. Mike Weihoff from Fairfield. Not bad for a freshman.
Yeah, I think we'll see Mr. Weihoff back again. Although
I hope so.
There's been we've had others up here that have placed and didn't get back. So every year is a different one. That's the nature of this sport. You got to prove yourself every time.
Okay, we start the third period with both up. Still Justin up 2-0. Merrill chose to take top position, or neutral position, excuse me, rather than try and get a point from escape. It's kind of surprising, really. But I saw him do that in the other consolation match too. So. Okay, Justin's posting off. He's got the elbow locked up, or the wrist, excuse me, locked up. Merrill can't do anything to him from there. Gets in on that single. Now if he can get his hips under, and Justin's strong as a bull. It got him up now. He's got to take care of him when he brings him down. Now he needs to work his way to the middle of the mat. I saw last year this cost him potentially a state title. This is exact position he was in last year at up here. He got in like this. Guy figure forward the arm and the head. Wasn't able to get the 2 points out of this. So he gets in real good. He's just got to get that finish on this.
Saw Coach Dick Roach making signals to the referee about that. He wanted to have that called a headlock, or head scissors.
Head scissors.
He said that was crossed at the calves, and I think that what we saw, I would tend to agree with that.
Yeah. Well, we got 49 seconds left here, and to be honest with you, I don't see where Merrill's doing anything to try and win this match. Justin's in on the leg, drops down to the ankle.
Yeah, Merrill has done an awful lot of stalling.
This is what we saw in the other match over there. Earlier match at 119. He's got to get that leg out. They're going to call a stalemate here, which means nothing's going to happen. Let's restart from a neutral position.
Neither wrestler can improve. Let's go back on the feet.
Well, there's 15 seconds to go in the match here. I think Justin gets one more shot. What do we got here? Justin takes one more good shot, gets a lock on a leg, and he'll be in good shape.
Needs to get in on it. Oh, God, he can't give up the takedown now. Keep the whizzer in,
He's
son.
not going to.
Keep the weight on the shoulder, whizzer in.
That's your experienced wrestler working for you right there.
Boy.
Out of
That
bounds.
was close.
Yep, 5 seconds to go.
That was real close. I hope he doesn't lose his focus. I've seen guys get it taken down right here. Ooh.
And ran out of time. All right, 3rd place finisher, Justin Wilcox, 4-time placer from Cincinnati Oak Hills High School.
Congratulations. That's a good idea. we're going to take a little bit of a break here. For those of you that don't understand scoring in wrestling, we have a really great instructional tape for you. And so we'll slide back to the studio for that.
A wrestling match is normally 6 minutes long and is divided into 3 2-minute time periods. In that time, the wrestler must either outscore or pin their opponents to win the match. There are several ways to score in wrestling. There is the takedown. When a wrestler gains control of his opponent, 2 points are awarded. Just taking the other wrestler down doesn't automatically give you 2 points. You must have control of your opponent. This is not a takedown. No points are awarded. The wrestler is awarded 1 escape point if he is under the control of his opponent and somehow gets free. If a wrestler is under control of his opponent and in a series of maneuvers gains control over his opponent, he's awarded 2 points. This is called a reversal. If a wrestler has his opponent on his back so that only one of his shoulder blades is on the mat, he will be awarded either 2 or 3 near fall points, depending on how long that shoulder blade's on the mat. You'll see the referee counting the seconds. To get 3 points, the shoulder blade has to stay on the mat for a minimum of 5 seconds. During the match, both wrestlers must be working to gain control of their opponents at all times. If the referee determines that either wrestler is not doing everything they can to advance their position, he will warn a wrestler for stalling. After a second warning, he will begin issuing penalty points. Fleeing is a similar offense. A wrestler may not back away from his opponent or intentionally go outside the circle to prevent engaging his opponent. Warnings and points are given in much the same manner as stalling. Earlier this year, a wrestler lost a championship in overtime at St. Xavier Invitational Wrestling Tournament because he stepped back away from his opponent and had been warned not to do so. A pin or a fall happens when a wrestler places both of his opponent's shoulder blades on the mat. Regardless of the score at that point, the match ends and the win is awarded. That makes wrestling very different from any other sport because at no time is a win beyond a wrestler's reach. Even if a wrestler is losing by 14 points with 2 seconds to go in the third period, as unlikely as it sounds, he can still pin his opponent and win the match. A match may also end in a technical fall. When a wrestler has a 15-point advantage over his opponent, the match ends, regardless of how much time is left on the match. The time between periods is kept to a minimum, usually the amount of time it takes for the wrestlers to return to the center of the mat. There are no timeouts. However, a match can be stopped by the referee for several reasons. One reason would be for an injury. Each wrestler has 2 minutes of injury time in the entire match. If a wrestler uses the entire 2 minutes, either all at once or in bits and pieces throughout the match, and cannot return to the mat, that wrestler forfeits the match. If a wrestler is injured due to an illegal move by his opponent, the referee may allow recovery time. A wrestler has 2 minutes to recover, plus 2 minutes of injury time if needed. Finally, there is blood time. If a wrestler is bleeding, even from a minor scratch or just has a bloody nose, the match is stopped and the wrestler is sent to his trainer to control the bleeding. OHSAA has a zero tolerance on this issue because of the close contact these wrestlers have with each other. Recently, a 5-minute time limit has been placed on blood time. Previously, there was no limit whatsoever. And that's it. The rules are fairly simple in wrestling. Outscore or pin your opponent.
Well, you know, it was kind of interesting. You paid attention to that tape. You see Joe McCaffrey listed in there. He's in the finals day. There was Justin Wilcox was in there.
Right. We had that's a great tape.
That's from
just
2 years ago. So.
That's right. Those guys have been around doing it for a number of years and keep making their contributions. This is the Consolation Championships coming to you from Wright State's Nutter Center. You can see 6 mats at work down here in front of you. This is Greg Klein and Dave Bean bringing you the action for the OHSAA Wrestling Championships. Guys are out here wrestling for 3rd place and 5th place in all 3 divisions, 1, 2, and 3. Division 1 being the large schools, Division 2 and 3 being slightly smaller. The schools in the state are divided equally according to male enrollment. And then we go ahead and compete out here for this. I didn't count, Greg, at the start of this how many different schools are represented, but the bulk of the schools probably send one wrestler.
Sure.
The ones that are out there in the front for the team championships have 4 or 5. In the case of Graham, I think they have 6 or 7 in Division II. It's the numbers game. While we do award a state champion team awards and runner-ups, and certainly if anybody's ever in the position to win one, it's the most prestigious of all awards I think that can be earned. Most of the time we're here for individual championships.
Right. Well, you've got, according to 103 schools, 104 schools in each division represented according to the program. So
you just saw the picture of the mat scoring scoreboard, and they're kind of unique here. They're not found everywhere. They're 3-sided, so they can be seen in different parts of the arena. And at the top of the board is a number that indicates that the mat number. Below that is a number, a digital number that indicates the match number. That 954 there is the match number. That directs you in your program so you can find exactly who the wrestlers are. Then you come down to the time in the period. There's 11 seconds left in the third period of this particular match. And at the bottom is the match score for green or red, depending upon how the wrestlers are designated for scoring purposes. I was talking with Dr. Bruce Marr, who is the tournament director, and he said they have some new ideas they're going to try in the future for indicating who the wrestlers are on the mat, because we see a lot of such identical uniforms in wrestling, all black or all white or all red, and they're going to come up with some new designations, I think, next year at the Schottenstein Center to help the spectators just a little bit with
well,
that.
You're going to need it because there's 11,000 seating here. Next year there's going to be 17,000, 18,000 people.
I think it's 17 for wrestling.
Yeah. So you're going to need more room, and that means there's going to be people a little further away from the mats, because you got to get 6,000 more people, and they'll sell that out also.
Oh yeah.
They won't have any trouble.
They already have more than 20,000 requests for tickets for the tournament here. They'll have just twice as many requests as they can fill. Like I say, it's one of the hot tickets in the state. The lines of people outside between tournament rounds gets bigger and bigger every year.
Looking for tickets, right? Yep. People come up here. Well, there were 672 wrestlers here, Dave. 310 schools represented, so from all over the state. So you can imagine the kind of following. Every one of those schools has alumni and fans wanting to come, and every one of those student athletes has people wanting to be here. Moms, dads, grandpas, and grandmas. So what match are we on here? 9:54. Well, we should be coming up here real soon to Omar Scruggs with Sycamore, wrestling for 5th place.
Yes, Omar Scruggs again is one of the premier wrestlers in our area, and had gotten all the way into the semifinals before he. I think that's right, Greg.
He got beat early in the second round.
Oh, you're right.
Quarterfinals.
He lost in the quarterfinals.
But then came back and won a match, and then won 2 matches on the consolation brackets, and
then dropped his semifinal match.
Console semis. So, these kids have all managed to maintain their weight for the year, since back in early September when they started worrying about their weight control. And, of course, as the seasons progress, they've been able to, the rules allow them to gain a pound or 2 as they've grown and matured a little bit more. But by and large, weight control is a part of the wrestling program, not like we talked about at the college level, where we've had the tragedies with the fatalities with tremendous weight drop. Okay, here we go. 135 pounds.
This is Division I, 5th place match from Cincinnati Sycamores. Omar Scruggs comes in with a 37-1 record. Actually, it'd be 37-2 now, I believe. Three. He's a junior, and his opponent is Jeremy McAdams out of Brookville Broadview. That's one of the really neat things of this tournament, Greg, is that you get to you come across so many schools that you don't know about. They don't know about us, and we don't know about them.
So I haven't even heard of some of the towns, yeah, and they're out there.
Well, last year, Mulhall was 5th at 130 pounds, and he's in the green and gold of Brecksville Broadview. The green and gold is Scruggs, and Mulhall is in the red and gold.
Well, Omar's wrestled here last year. Lost in consolation overtime technical decision. So he's familiar with the state level. Got here last year. This year he gets here in places. He's got one more year left, and should be looking at a potential state champion possibilities next year. If he continues to work hard this summer and progress, I'm sure he'll be considered one of the favorites.
Yeah, I think that's definitely going to be true with Omar. He's got a great deal of talent that can be taken a long way.
His strength is his speed and quickness, and it really lends itself to it when he's on his feet. When he's down on the mat, that's not quite as well. As you can see, he's going to try and get a stand-up, get a single, because if he can get an escape, he feels he can get the takedown too, and make it a 3-point move rather than just 1 point. So he needs an escape right here. Get his hips out, get some wrist control. Now see, he's working back to the middle. The kid from Breckville's dropping down on the leg. You don't want to let him do that. You got to get hold of those wrists early. You can't let the guy drop back down. And when you get up in a good position, you can't allow him to come down on the ankle, especially here at the state level. They're so much quicker and faster. You got to get good wrist control.
Got to have those hands on hands.
And break free. See how he comes out of the whistle here. This is an important part of the match. There he did. He came up.
Again, he's losing control on that outside wrist. And again, that's aggressive control that's being exhibited by McAdams. And I just flipped real quickly into the Brakeman report here, Greg, and it's interesting. Scruggs and McAdams are again indicated as potential placers in the tournament as challengers. Scruggs actually was rated a little bit higher than McAdams, but he met his match in Würzburger out of Madison in the quarterfinals. Würzburger, the Brakeman report was right on the money. Würzburger finished just ahead of Scruggs.
Well, there's some just some of the way the draws fall. I think one of the kids wrestling for 3rd and 4th is a kid from Beaver Creek, Schmigel. Omar beat him twice during the year, but they didn't really wrestle up here. But the way the draw broke out, he came through the other bracket, and he's wrestling for 3rd and 4th, and Omar's wrestling for 5th and 6th. So sometimes who you draw up here has more of an effect on what you're doing. Of course, if you're the state champ, you got to beat them all anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But it's for placing for 3rd and 4th, 5th and 6th that can have a great deal to do with the luck of the draw, as they say.
Yep.
And there isn't really any seeding at this level. I mean, the 1st place finishers get a 4th place finisher. 2nd place finishers get 3rd place finishers from across the state.
This match is still nothing.
He can't get that escape. He's got to get that 1 point here. This is going to be real critical. Actually,
it's the end of the period.
Actually, it doesn't make a lot of difference here, because if Scruggs just gives away the point for the one, he's still got to take him down no matter what.
Exactly.
So it's really going to come down to a takedown in the 3rd period. Of course, you'd rather have a 3-point lead right now, or even a 1-point lead, but the match is still definitely in doubt, and Omar has, it's in his own hands, so to speak. He can control it. He gets a takedown, he can win the match. And he's got a great single.
Oh, he is so quick on that single. He needs to be able to change off on that just a little bit.
Yeah, go to the double. Maybe he comes so far outside, it's a little more difficult than a straight single where you can, come straight up to the double, because he kind of hits that single, fades, and kind of comes around to the outside. And it works well for him. Oh, real nice.
That was a nice,
real counter off that
Russian counter, that spin counter. Watch out, Omar. He's into that outside fireman.
He's got to get that off the leg, off the hip.
You see the Sycamore coaches in the background. They're wrestling every instant of the match.
There you go.
Good pick.
Nice ankle pick.
Shoulder
got the
ankle. He's got two. He's going to get back points.
There we go.
Boy, that's a heck of a bridge, isn't it?
Yep. He didn't count either. They gave him 2.
I don't think so. Did he give him 2?
I think he counted him 2 in his head. Let's see if we don't have a 4 out of this.
I see 2 on the board, but I don't see any more.
Give him a second. Come on here.
We are looking now. Obviously, we got a little bit of a blood thing here going. I don't think he gave any more.
Well, he put 2 points. He put 2 fingers down on the mat, which generally indicates.
Yes, I saw that.
Indicates mat points rather than takedown points. But we'll let him sort it out.
The Brecksville coaching staff is in there, tried to get their 3 cents in on the whole thing of keeping no more points off. We have 1 minute and 8 seconds left in the 3rd period of this match.
Well, like we said, now he's got the lead. Okay, he got his 2-point lead. The unfortunate part of not getting that escape in the 2nd period, he'd have a 2-point lead.
Right.
So, and then he could afford to. Now he's got to just ride him out. I'm not sure.
Well, he's got enough time. He could actually go back and give the escape again and come back.
Yeah, the strategy
and go for the takedown.
But.
We realize that those of you who are just tuning in, these are the consolation finals at the Ohio Wrestling Tournament. It's Omar Scruggs of Sycamore at 135 pounds going for 5th place.
Well, he cut him loose. It's a 2-2 match now.
2-2. And Scruggs is back in on that single.
Now, great.
Nice
that was nice. Now he's got to work him back to the middle of the mat. Keep him on. There it is. That's 2.
There's 2. Go to the head. Now get back
There's
points.
back points there.
He's going to dig the heel in, not let him come out on it.
Got a real night. Called the pin. That's it.
That's Omar Scruggs comes through
46
with a big
seconds
pin
left.
victory.
That was nice.
5th place, 135 pounds, Division I, Omar Scruggs of Sycamore. Great job, Omar. It's what we like to see. Next year, want to see you there in the middle mat for going for the championship.
Coach Gary Listerman pretty happy. You know, these coaches put in a lot.
You went to school with him.
Oh, yeah.
How come is it that he looks so young and you don't?
He's older than me.
Oh, I see. Okay.
We're approaching middle age. That's what it is. We both remember what it was like to wrestle. We can't do it anymore, but now we're into coaching and video recording.
Okay. We're going to break away from the mats here just for a moment. We have an interview with perhaps one of the most well-known names in Ohio wrestling, Brian Brakeman, who writes the famous or infamous Brakeman Report. And we did an interview with him a little bit earlier today, and we're going to take a look at that right now. Okay. With me is Brian Brakeman. This is a man whose name is probably most well-known in Ohio wrestling. I have a question for all of you out there. What is about 1.5 inches thick? It's on the net now, and that it's something that you can get in exchange for a free T-shirt. Brian Brakeman is the guru of Ohio wrestling. Mr. Brakeman, tell me, how did you get started in this business of projecting state champions and state placers?
Well, it was kind of really accidental in part. When I was in graduate school, I was working on a PhD in statistics, and I collected a lot of information for a possible dissertation in the topic. Never wrote the topic, but by doing so, I got involved in public TV, and in that way got more interested in a statewide approach to wrestling, and eventually started writing a report just to put down all the information I was collecting. It kind of just grew like Topsy.
How long have you been doing it?
The first report was actually 1972, but it was a pretty primitive report. The modern one's from about 1980 on.
How much input do you get into your well, tell us just how do you actually put it together? What's the basis for your information?
Well, there's really 3 or 4 things. One is past performance, especially the previous year. Certainly performance this year, which I get from a lot of newspapers. And I also have a lot of coaches and newspaper people who call me and talk to me, and that gives me a lot of insight, a little color for the information as well. So it's a lot of information that I just kind of weave together.
It's a remarkable publication. We depend on it. Every coach here has probably got a copy of it. It's so much better today now that it's on the internet. Goodness, we can pick it up instantaneously. I didn't even have to send you a T-shirt this year.
That's right. My T-shirt collection's fallen off in the recent years, but no, I'm happy to do it. Really, my wife thinks it's about time I quit, but I think there'll be a few more years.
Oh, please don't, please don't. We depend so heavily on you. I want to thank you very much for all you've contributed to Ohio wrestling, and to those of us coaches and media people, we can't do without you. Thanks so much, Brian.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
If you ever think you're not tall enough or tough enough, pretty enough or smart enough, or you don't want to try something because you feel you'll look awkward, if you think you'll never learn it or play it or figure it out, or you feel unsure because you're not quite the same, well, everyone gets these feelings. But if you believe them, you're selling yourself short. Way short.
A message from the U.S. Navy, where we believe the only way to grow is to rise to the challenge.
Did you know that eating hot dogs can make a kid 46% less likely to use drugs? Be a mentor. Make a difference.
Okay. Well, we're back here at the Ohio High School Consolation Finals here, and we're going to come right to our 152-pound weight class, which is Casey Abrams from Lebanon, wrestling for 5th place.
His opponent's Phil DeWalt of Tiffin, Columbia.
On mat 6 there. So here we are at 152 pounds.
You know what's really strange, Greg, is that they're saying that they've got the scoreboard. The scoreboard says that that's 978 down there.
I'm telling you it is, because that's Casey's limping around
Casey.
there.
They're right. That's Casey.
So that was the end of the first period, 2-0. I think Casey starting, here we go. Casey starting in a down position.
Casey's a sophomore. His dad's a coach at Lebanon. He's been there forever, it seems. I think.
Yeah.
And he's just a sophomore.
Okay, and he's actually winning right now, 2-1. Casey had a heck of a tournament, I think. He's had like 3 pins in the tournament, even though he's only wrestling for 5th, I should say. He had some excellent early matches that helped him along. So he pinned his way. Let's see where I got a pin here at pinned to get into the consolation semifinals. 54 seconds. He pinned the match before that in 57 seconds. So he's done a heck of a job here, especially for a sophomore. I think those long arms and legs have helped him. He's been bothered by a knee injury. Not sure exactly what it is, but I've been watching him.
He was limping just a bit ago.
Well, he was hurt in some of the earlier matches too. So note it cost him. There you go. Nice. Get that reversal. Step it over. There we go. Unfortunately, sometimes now he has no points yet, and you get a little anxious. He could have got at least the reversal there, and instead you get nothing out of it. Now he's got to make sure he gets a point out of this.
Casey is not one of these big physical 152-pounders.
Right.
This is a weight class where normally you see just real bulls on the mat. Casey's a long, lanky kid, and he uses cross-body series. He uses the leg series really effectively.
Yeah, he's giving back. He's trying to get out. Okay, they called stalemate. So we're back here with 48 seconds to go in the second period. Well, that's a shame, because he was in a real good position there to score some points. But was it Dicer? DeWalt? DeWalt? Yeah.
DeWalt.
Yeah. We're not wrestling just anybody up here. Oh, he's got the cradle. Doesn't hold it. These kids, every match is against a quality opponent, so you've got to be able, you can't be sloppy at this level and expect to get away with some of the things that worked for you earlier in the year. Okay.
This is one of those weight classes, or it's in this area that from here on up, where the Cincinnati area has made great strides this year, I think. Greg, it used to be that we were sending through a lot of lighter weights and middle weights, and now we're beginning to show much better performance in our upper weights. When we look at the competitors that will be coming up in the championship round, that's where we find most of our wrestlers.
Well, you know what, I think what you see here, Dave, is that wrestling used to be the sport that you didn't do if you played, or you did if you didn't play football or basketball or baseball or anything else. And so that was for the little or smaller type guy, and but now, I mean, the guys that, the football coaches have realized that there's nothing wrong with having a very agile linebacker, tackle, whatever you want, and they've encouraged their athletes to not just lift weights during the winter, but to participate in wrestling. And
yeah, so the two are complementary. That's one of the things that I think that it shows so clearly. From this level up, well, really even in lighter weights than that, you'll find that there are a lot of football players that have gotten into wrestling and have found that it's been extremely beneficial to their development as football players.
I tell you what was critical in this match here is that Casey Abrams did not get an escape here. He was ridden out, and that's definitely going to be a disadvantage for him. He's only up 2-1. He's got the leg in, and he's going to, if he'd have gotten that escape earlier, he could afford to give a point away. But as it is now, he can't give up a single point, and he just hasn't gotten reversed yet. Yes, he has. Okay.
Now he's been reversed. Yep.
So now he's down 3-2. He better watch that cradle. That kid's.
Dewalt keeps throwing that cradle.
Yeah, he's thrown that 3 or 4 times. As Casey's coming up, his hips are coming up a little high with his head still down.
Leading with his hips.
Yeah. And he's losing 3-2 right now. There's 1 minute and 15 seconds to go.
Casey Abrams of Lebanon versus Phil Dewalt of Tiffin. This is for 5th place. Dewalt placed 5th last year.
Yeah. He's a strong kid. Okay, here we go. Casey needs this escape. Okay, he's got 57 seconds out of bounds. They go back from the start position. Now's when you got to do it, right now. Put it together. Now these guys have already wrestled 1 match this morning, and 2 matches yesterday, and probably 1 the day before, 1 or 2. So,
yeah, to get psychologically prepared to wrestle this round is one of the most difficult things in sport, especially to be wrestling for 5th.
Because you've already lost twice.
You lost a match today. Just a few minutes ago, you lost a match. Now here you are, right? You have to get up again to come back out and wrestle again. Used to be years ago. I can remember that this match was one that there were a lot of forfeits in. Kids just didn't show up, and they psychologically weren't able to come up and get going once more.
Okay, I'm not sure what the call was, but we do have a tie match here, 3-3, even though we didn't get the escape. So they must have been either a stalling call or a penalty point, which we didn't get to see. But the match is tied at 3-3.
Abrams ties you up with every part of his body, but Dewalt keeps picking that leg up and just keeps lifting the leg.
Well, he threw him down,
controlling it
right on his shoulder. He's injured a little bit. Maybe it's the knee that he caught.
You see the referee.
16 seconds to go in the match.
First concern is for the well-being of the wrestler, and he called for a trainer. And now I believe they're calling for one of the physicians.
Well, I'll tell you what. Yeah, I'm thinking it was his. Looks, if we see a replay of that, we may see whether his knee is. That's a shame, but we can't get a replay of it. Let's see where he's hurt.
Yeah, that's one of our physicians.
Somebody out there in Holland, right?
Well, coming up after this match, on match 6 is going to be Chris Benatti from Lakota. He'll be the next match for 5th and 6th at 160 pounds. So we'll be staying. Our next local competitor is going to be on this next mat here. So we'll stay right here.
he was in the semi.
Well, Dewalt is, as I said before, Greg, is returning, comes back as 5th place. He, let's see, where did he place?
Well, I'll tell you what they did. They gave Abrams a penalty point for a slam or whatever you want to call it there. He got the point for that fact.
They did award the point?
Yes, and Abrams is winning 4-3. Took him down cut him out from under and didn't bring him to the mat. So the
rule says if you take him off the mat or if you bring a person upper body in contact with the mat with violence or with severe impact, it's you're subject to penalty, and that's the case.
And if he does not complete the match, if he cannot continue due to a penalty, he wins the match automatically.
Yeah, it's called a default victory.
Default. He's not looking real good here. 16 seconds to go.
Now, one of the things that the doctors are going to check real carefully here, they want to see the kid continue to wrestle. No one wants to see a match settled by default, so they want to get him back out there. Everybody wants to see it. On the other hand, they're not going to put a kid out there and have him put in jeopardy.
Quite honestly, he only gets 2 minutes of injury time. So, well, in that case, it doesn't matter.
He gets recovery time first, and then injury time. I'll tell you what, I'm not so sure that Casey made the right choice here, although he probably didn't have a complete control over it.
Well, I think he can. I think you got 16 seconds left. I think he'll get it out here. I'm sure he can handle it. Actually, I think it's quite foolish. This guy should be cutting him loose anyway.
Yeah, he can score a lot more points.
Yep. See, now Casey did the smart thing.
Casey gets it right in on that leg.
Yep. Another penalty.
Another penalty point.
That's going to be 2 points because he cross-faced him.
Yep.
And just hit him with his forearm. So now it's 6-2. 6-3, excuse me. Yep, this one's over.
Phil Dewalt of Tiffin has taken himself out of this match.
Yes, he did. Just got a little over-aggressive. I'm not sure it was, I don't think there was anything purposeful in it. He
lost control
of it. Not of himself, but just
nonetheless,
but we got a
here's a sophomore, 5th place, Casey Abrams of Lebanon.
Get him into a hot tub, and he'll be ready next year.
There's, that's Dewalt.
Okay, and here's our 160-pound 5th place. Chris Benatti from Lakota. Is it West, East? I just don't know anymore.
It's West.
Lakota West.
Now, we couldn't even find them in the program for a while. It's Westchester, Lakota West, and Liberty Township, Lakota East.
His opponent, there's Dysart. That's who I was thinking.
Matt Dysart.
Yeah.
Dublin Kaufman. This is an interesting matchup. The coach at Dublin Kaufman is Bob Stoll, who 2 years ago was the coach at Lakota.
Yeah.
And probably got Chris Benatti started in the sport. There's an additional interesting thing.
Yeah,
Greg.
this is. We noticed this earlier. Chris mentioned that he hasn't been able to wrestle varsity until this year because he's always wrestled behind Richie Root, who actually ended up being at Lakota East this year at a weight class up. But Richie finished 4th in the state last year at this weight. Chris gets a chance because the school split, and he's wrestling for 5th. And unfortunately, Richie got a tough draw and isn't placing at all this year. So, boy, what a difference a year makes. And that just shows you, perseverance pays off.
And that's a lesson that Chris Benatti is going to learn, has learned, and is going to stick with him the rest of his life. That's what makes high school athletics so really beneficial, is that, that's exactly the thing. You learn that perseverance will pay off, and you learn that sticking to something is worthwhile. Those are old-fashioned values, I know, but they are nonetheless accurate values.
Here's one of the Lakota coaches,
one of the assistant
coaches here. First period, no score. It's a lot harder, especially in Consolations. Guys are used to wrestling 2 minutes in the first period, and they kind of take their time sometime coming out. Consolations, you only got 1 minute to take advantage of that.
That's right.
You got to be ready to go.
Yeah, these guys especially have a problem with it because most of them used to being in the finals.
Yep.
And they're used to this continuous 2 minute periods, and it makes it a little bit difficult psychologically to adjust.
We just saw Casey Abrams walk gingerly past the broadcast booth here. He looks a little worse for wear, but certainly happy with that finish.
Well, like you said, when he gets a little bit of a chance to soak out the soreness, he'll be a lot happier because he's accomplished a great thing here.
Okay. Chris Benatti on a Russian.
It's 160 pounds,
yeah.
Division I.
For 5th place, yes. 5th place match here. Okay. Chris Benatti, good hip, forced head down. The Dublin wrestler shooting in. He's got the arm, posts him off pretty well.
Well, Benatti's 34-6. He's a senior, and Dysart is 38-4. He's also a senior.
Both took the neutral position for the second period, both on their feet. Got a little high there. Just missed the. He gave him the 2. That's 2.
Takedown.
Got a little sloppy there, and I think he really thought they were out of bounds. Came kind of over the top, didn't catch the shoulder, didn't catch the head and the arm, and the Dublin wrestler was able to take advantage.
But Dysart has had quite a history. He's a transfer from Pickerington and to Dublin Kaufman, and missed a good bit of last year due to an injury, and then he's has had a pretty consistent season after that. But Dysart is respected widely throughout the state. As a matter of fact, the Brakeman report ranks him as high as 3rd.
Well, we've seen Pickerington. They come down to our Coaches Classic every year. They led by Keaton Anderson, who potentially we'll probably see later today with a potential 3-time state champ.
Wonderful escape.
Right, good leverage.
Benatti. Nice lift on the shin.
Yep.
Picks the leg off, gets his escape. 2-1.
Yep, 15 seconds to go in this period.
Chris Benatti in the red singlet of Lakota East. Matt Dysart in the white of Dublin Kaufman. 5th place, Division I. Coming to you from Wright State's Nutter Center.
All right, 3rd period. Dysart takes down, winning 2-1. I think it's going to come down to a takedown again, Dave, which it generally does.
There's his escape.
Okay, now it's 3-1, and Chris is just going to have to step it up and get to 2, because that's what he's got to get that and either get it to overtime or get 2 and back points or get 2 takedowns.
That's where whole seasons are made and lost. Right here is on the feet. You've got to be able to score on your feet.
Boy, and how often have we talked about that all year, about how the freestyle wrestlers have such an advantage because they wrestle all summer on their feet. And here's where it comes down to brass tacks that really makes a difference.
And I used to always, there was a statistic I used to use with my wrestlers, Greg, that 75% of the time the guy that gets the first takedown wins matches. The percentage is even higher the farther up the ladder you go in competition.
Sure.
Here at the state tournament, it probably runs closer to 85%. At the nationals in collegiate wrestling, the first takedown is the winner just on an amazingly frequent basis.
Well, Benatti shot in, got his head down a little bit. Oh, and the ref
saved him. Kept him off the.
The ref sacrificed his body for the wrestler.
That's right. That's his job.
Or he couldn't get out of the way.
And actually, it's a good thing that he did because our cameraman was right there at that time.
Well, you know, they do have not as much extra mats on each side as they do along the ends because the mats being next to each other. We wanted another close-up camera shot. Brought the wrestlers right over to him again.
The camera is a wrestler.
Boy, now I tell you, I think what you saw there, you can see a little of the fatigue of 3 days of hard wrestling there.
Yes, sir.
He had the opportunity for a shot, just wasn't there. You know,
There's been over we've spent over 27 hours in wrestling here over the last 3 days. Now, obviously, no individual wrestler has been wrestling for 27 hours, but just being here is a strain. You know,
sure.
The psychological end of things.
Not staying at home, you're away from home.
That's right. That's right. And it does make a difference.
And you're there watching your teammates or whoever else and trying. Of course, you're scouting who you're going to wrestle the next round, because
that's right.
Every little bit's important. Well, Chris got we got 32 seconds. He's one more big shot. He's got to get in there. Here we go. He's in. Got to be able to hold it though. Get your head up. There it is. There it is. Pull it down.
Finish it.
He's got to get his head out if he can. He can bring his head out. Keep that foot in there. He's got it. He's got it. That's what he gave away before. He gave it away before. Yes,
there it is.
We just had to talk to him, Dave. All right, 3-3. Excellent job. Oh, I'm glad
those
exciting. That's
I'm glad those refs are paying attention to us.
Well, we're down a little ways. They didn't hear me right away, I guess. All right, 3-3. Now, 10 seconds. Ride him out. Come on, Chris. Pick it. There you go. Pull it in. Pull it in. Keep the pressure. Watch the Granby roll here. There it comes. Holds it down. Okay, now we're going to overtime. That's what they say. You hate consolation overtime matches.
This is a big challenge for Scott Fetzer, the coach at Lakota. Here he is. He's going against his ex-head coach. He's taken a young man who undoubtedly got his start with Bob Stoll, who's now at Dublin Kaufman. And this is a great feeling as a coach. It's teacher-student kind of thing.
Well,
nobody's going to end up a loser in this one. This is just a good match.
This is our first overtime, Dave, and we might mention it's 2 minutes. Basically, it's sudden death. The first takedown wins it. If it's tied at this point, we'll have another 30-second overtime where one wrestler chooses top or bottom and either has to escape. If he does, he wins. If he doesn't escape, he loses. So here we go with I'd rather see it decided right here on the mat here.
Yeah.
And
Dyson's in deep.
Now this is both up. I can see the difference there was that Benatti hadn't given up any excuse me, he had not given up control to Dysert there. This was where we had in the two previous takedowns. There he's in good. There we go. Nice shot.
And tight.
Now
tight on the leg.
Take your time. You got plenty of time. There we go. He's got it.
Two.
He's got it. He's got it. There it is.
There it is. All right.
Now,
Chris Benatti.
What a difference. Did you see the shot that time compared to what he was in the third period?
The leg was flush on the chest.
That's right.
He was all the way in on the chest. That's where you win on the takedown.
That was where the adrenaline kicked in.
You had one.
All right. That was
I really feel good.
That was an exciting
Chris.
fifth-place match.
That really is, and I really feel good for Chris Benatti because he has labored in the shadow of Richie Root, and here he has the opportunity to stand on his own, and he does so extremely well.
Okay. Well, we got somebody getting buried here on match 4. I'm not sure who it is, but is that 4 or 5? Mat 4, so we're not who. That's probably Division 2. Third and fourth place match. We got this boy's in some serious trouble here.
There's a pin taking place out here. We're not.
But nobody's giving anything up for granted here at this level. Yeah, he's really cranking it. Oh, I think he's got it here. Here's the mental part of it. Coming down to.
Oh, that's Brian Floyd. Is that Brian? Yeah, that must be Brian Floyd.
He's.
Yeah.
And Floyd's fighting.
Floyd's the one that's fighting his back right now. Russ Coons of Bellevue is in the driver's seat. You see a little bit of the exasperation on Brian Floyd's face, and at the same time, that's a very painful position to be in there.
But He was able to hang on.
This is Division II, 189-pound, 5th place
Third
match.
period, it's 8-0. Obviously, Brian's losing right now. Okay, guys get a little high. Yep, he's locking up that
coming
cradle.
Up high to put that cradle on. Floyd is getting in trouble on this thing. Coons is showing rather a broad range of pinning opportunities here.
I don't think it's going to be hard for him to pin off this position.
I don't think he can pin in that.
Got to make sure he doesn't. Well, now he's coming around.
If he gets his chest over.
Can't get that shoulder clear. But he got 3.
Now Floyd right there, there was a good opportunity for a reversal that would have put Coons in a deadly position.
But you know, when you've been fighting off your back, that's the only thing you're thinking of right then. Get me off my back, get me one. So we kind of worry about putting the guy on his back after you get over. So sometimes you miss an opportunity, especially in a position like that, compared to when you're like actually shooting in for a takedown where you're the aggressor. But what we got, 11-1, I think. Is that the score here? Yep, 52 seconds left.
Yeah, Coons comes in as a 31-1 record, and well, he's won a couple more in here. He's a very successful wrestler for Bellevue. So this is Brian Floyd in the purple and gold of Ross. Russ Coons. Coons of Bellevue leads 11-1. 5th place, 189 pounds. And, Coons looks like his shoulder's going bad on him.
I think he's saying, I got 17 seconds left in it, Coach.
Obviously, he's saying he's got that much left in it.
All right, we're going to show a little replay here.
See why it is that his shoulder's bothering him
right shoulder.
Now.
I think he probably gets it caught underneath there.
I see why he's getting. Yes. I see why it's hurting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it drops down, and that's where it is. See when
it's the pull.
When he went off that shoulder and pulled, that's where he.
That's right. That locked up, sliding down the shoulder. Yeah. That's like about a 189-pound weight dropping on your deltoid.
That's why I never had to wrestle these big guys. It didn't hurt me as bad. Okay, about 5 seconds to go in this match.
Floyd pressing the issue. Coons protecting himself.
All right, 3 seconds.
Warnings have been made.
And that's the end of the match.
Point scored.
11-2. 11-3.
Russ Coons of Bellevue defeats Brian Floyd of Hamilton Ross 11-3 for 5th place.
All right. Well, Dave was out cruising the stands today trying to find some valuable people to talk to, some interesting people, and he's got another interview coming up here in a minute. Brian Brakeman report was pretty good, but we've got some more interviews out there, and I think we're going to bring one up here to you shortly.
Yeah, Bob Goldring, in charge of media affairs for the state, is going to be our interviewee here in a little bit. And
let's go to it right now,
Dave. Right now. Okay, with me now is one of our associate commissioners with the OHSAA. This is Bob Goldring. Bob's in charge of media affairs and media information services. And boy, what a task you've got. I've watched you running around here all day like one-armed paper hanger, Bob.
Well, believe me, this of all our 22 state championships that we hold, this is our biggest crunch for media. We just get everyone and their friends, I think, want to be here to cover the event, and it's really quite an ordeal helping out the media for the wrestling tournaments.
Well, about how many people are people are covering it?
Probably overall credentials, we issue over 400. That includes writers, television folks, radio folks, and photographers. So we got them running all over the place. Right behind us, we have seating for about 110, and probably less than half of those we issue all session credentials for. Then a lot of folks come just to cover obviously their kid or kids that may be wrestling. They may only have one kid here or a couple kids, and they may only stay for just that match or two, and then they're out of here. So they're kind of sitting in a first come first serve seat. So we have people coming and going all the time.
I know one of the things that happens is that it seems like there's been a growth in the amount of television coverage that has been taking place. Do you find that to be true across the state in all your sports, or is it something that's characteristic of wrestling, or what?
I think overall our high school coverage, I've only been with the association for 3 years, but it just seems to be a steady growth in all area, the print media, broadcast media, both radio and TV. It's been pretty steady, and have seen a steady growth, and wrestling overall I think has been a pretty steady number around the 400 mark.
That's a pretty impressive thing, and you do a wonderful job with it. I want to thank you very much on behalf of Waycross Community Television, Media Television, and we hope that we'll see you next year up at Columbus at the Schottenstein Center.
Well, we certainly appreciate the coverage that you folks give us, and yeah, next year will be pretty interesting. Hopefully we'll have a little more room for the media to operate in. We're not sure exactly how many seats we'll have and how many, maybe more TV will want to come. You never know, but hopefully it'll work out real well.
Okay, thanks so much.
Thanks for that.
Okay, there we go. All right, and we're back again from the Wright State's Nutter Center, and we're here covering the 5th place and 3rd place matches, and we're taking you into a match that's already in progress. This is Micah Hedges of Cincinnati Deer Park.
In the black.
In the black. His opponent, we aren't sure.
But Micah's down 2-0. He got taken down at the first period. This is for 5th and 6th place. Micah's a senior. We've actually seen him wrestle at the Finneytown Invitational this year, Dave, where he was the most valuable wrestler and won that the scholarship award.
Yep.
And Micah comes in here. I'm not sure what his total record is. Dave's looking that up right now. But 2-1 match here now.
28-9. 28-9.
28-9 at this point. So Micah's a senior, I think, this year. And 2-1 right now. He needs a takedown. He's in on the leg. Okay. Okay, back to the center. Minute 24 seconds remaining.
And they go out of bounds. Coming back to the middle.
So we got 2 representatives at 189 pounds, and with Dick Engels in the finals.
Yep.
Match 6 we're bringing up will be our Harrison kid wrestling will be wrestling here shortly on match 6. Our 215-pound from Harrison, which is Morris. Okay, we got Morris on the top screen there. He's down with his back to you in the black. They're both black and green, but with the predominant black singlet is Morris from Harrison.
From Harrison. That's in the screen on the top of your screen, the upper half. Brady Morris comes out, gets his escape.
And that's their match in the foreground there, 2-1, or background, 2-1. We got 2 matches, 2-1 here.
And the other one is
Mike is losing 5-1 now. He's taken down. Almost escaped there. He's got to get his leg broke free.
Oh, out of bounds. Boy, that's another one of those pick them up, drop them on their head.
Yeah, a little off mat, too. Get Mike a little fired up here.
Hedges has sure been a real pleasant surprise, or not a surprise. Everybody knows he's a fine wrestler. They've been looking for him coming along, and he's doing a great job for the Deer Park Wildcats.
Brady Morris gets taken down and let go. His opponent, is it Erdzik?
Yeah, Dave Hudson.
Hudson, okay.
Dave Hudson, Galloway Westland. He's 31-10. He came out of the Hilliard district. That's Central Ohio.
I think he feels confident on his feet. What Hudson needs to do is get a takedown, tie this match up, and kind of take a little of that bravado away from
Yeah, Brady Morris needs
Hudson.
to get a takedown right now.
Yeah.
Needs to change the tone of the match.
Okay.
And Micah Hedges
losing 5-1 right now.
Trails, and he needs to get some.
There's an escape, 6-1. Hudson also just took down Morris there. So 6-2 there.
This is one of the great difficulties we have as we roll into these consolation rounds with six mats running, or 5 mats going. I don't know, 5 or 6 anyway.
6, yeah.
It's very difficult to try and keep up. Brady Morris of Harrison is a 215-pounder, and Micah Hedges of Deer Park is a
he tried to throw, but got it himself. Did he give him the 2? Yes, he did. 8-2, 8-1, excuse me. I think Micah didn't think he was going to give up the takedown right there. Kind of just relaxed a second and gave up the 2. Well, Morris, nice. Come on, keep that cradle in there. He's got to sit through with it. He's got it set, and he's got to get his hips under control. Don't roll him back on top of you like that. Don't do that. Arrow got away with it.
Got away with it.
Well, hey,
that's strength.
Do it then.
When you're strong enough, do it. Well,
got some back points. There's 2.
Harrison wrestlers here the last several years, they'll pick those cradles up on you again and again and again. But Hudson of Galloway Westland is.
Here we go. Now he's got it in really nice
now
there.
He's got it really hooked.
Well, he's changed the tone, Dave. I think he's changed the tone of the mat here. He's got.
They run out of time.
Well, now he screamed.
Oh no!
Now, what are they going to do?
They have to get. It has to be a 4-point.
So now they're going to give him 2 more. Let's see what they.
I think they give him.
I think Van's trying to find out what they're giving him. The referee's going to the table. I don't think they're giving him 2 more. Well, yep, they gave him 2 more, which makes it 6.
Ooh,
and that's
Hedges just got slammed. Hedges got dropped right on his head. I mean, that wasn't even close.
Well, he did it to him out of bounds before.
That's as clear almost by definition of a slam as I've seen in a long time. That was close to what one would call a drill. Even with excellent mats,
we're going to show this to you again.
We're going to see this coming back to you.
Yeah, he lifts him up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a penalty right there. They stopped it.
Yeah.
Now they gave him a penalty point. He was able to continue. But as you see, normally that. Okay. All right, we're back.
We're back now with Micah Hedges recovered, and he's back out on the mat. And Brady Morris got into some difficulty down there. And I think that match was at 8-6 with Morris's match, Greg. Is that an 8-6 match now?
Okay. We had a little difficulty there, technical difficulty. I think we're back live again.
8-6. In Brady Morris's match, he leads 8-6. Brady Morris of Harrison.
Okay, here we go.
And Micah Hedges' match up here in Division III is not going as well. Mike is now on his back.
And that's it.
He threw and got caught, basically.
He had to do it.
Yeah. The only thing he had left was to go ahead and throw it.
Okay, it's 46 seconds left in Brady Morris's match.
So Micah Hedges ends up 6th in the state.
Oh, now what are they going to do there? I don't know that they call. He's hurt.
Well, at least he's wiggling a lot.
Well, yeah, I think he's hurt now. He fell right on top of him, but I mean, Morris didn't bring him down, did he?
I didn't see the beginning of that whole thing. I looked over here to.
Yes, he did. They're going to give a penalty point on, or that was that escape. I know it's 9-6 right now, so.
Oh, is Hudson rather?
Hudson's hurt.
Is Hudson the red? In the red?
Yes, Hudson's.
Oh, I thought Morris had the red singlet or the red anklet.
Okay, we've got. It's Hudson. Morris is winning 9-6, but let's see what they did on the call there. We'll be going to the Kerwin Hurd match here for 3rd and 4th place shortly. As you can see him in the foreground bouncing around, or you could see him. There he's top. Okay, that match is ready to start. Maybe we can get a full view as the camera backs up a little bit. Okay. There you go. There's Kerwin Hurd on mat 5 from Princeton.
Red and gray of Princeton. He's 17-1 coming into the tournament. He's a senior. His opponent's Alex Lammers from Wayne up Huber Heights. So it's district replayed.
Yeah.
2 guys out of the same district wrestling for 3rd place at 189 pounds in Division I.
You know, Kerwin was okay. We've gone back to we'll change the score for you on the Harrison score. They've gone back to an 8-6 score. Took that point away. So they did not give Morris the escape, is what that was, that 9th point. Now this is the same position they were in before, and Morris
throws that.
He doesn't need to do
uses
that.
that elevation again and again and again, doesn't he?
He doesn't need that with 25 seconds to be pulling him to his back, though. We have an 8-7 score here. See, they've got him losing 8-7.
Hurd has scored a takedown in the foreground match.
Right. Okay, Morris needs the point. He's got it. He's got it. Did he give it to him?
I saw him signal it, yeah.
Yep, he wins the match, 9-8. He's up 9-9, 4 seconds. That's it. We're going overtime. Well, that one was one of those you can't keep track of. 9-9.
That's the far match in your picture.
Now they're going for the takedown.
Kerwin Hurd of Princeton leads in his match 2-0.
Right. We originally had that graphic wrong earlier. That's what the confusion was. Morris was losing by 2 at the time, not winning. So.
It's a wonder that anybody knows.
Yeah.
The problem, of course, the large part of the problem is we can't see mat scoreboards here. Hopefully the Schottenstein Center will have us a little more.
Yeah, we're a little lower than we were last year.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
We were up on a but hey, we're not complaining. This is still great seats.
Yeah, did you pay to get in?
No.
Oh, last year I got you to pay.
Match days coming up.
They do a quick.
So is that in overtime down there?
It's in overtime. The Harrison match is in overtime. The Kerwin Hurd match at 189 is in the 2nd period. So
Matt 3 starting.
Tony's going crazy out there because we got so many matches going, so we need these guys to win this. Get this over with.
That's right, because we've got 2 more heavyweight matches coming up. 3 more heavyweight matches. Like I said at the top of the show, Greg, we've got a lot of big guys out.
We've also got,
really making an impression in things.
Well, we've got Kennedy wrestling for 3rd and 4th on mat 3 at this right now. So
sure enough, there he is.
So we've added another match.
So now we can spread the camera out and pick up 3 matches in a row.
Yeah, there at the bottom of your screen, you can see. Well, actually, it'll be the 4th match. That's Kerwin Hurd. Tell you what, you know, as amazing as it might seem, they could get a stall call here on the last match, and somebody could get called for stalling quite easily.
Brady Morris, though, fought back valiantly in that match to bring this thing into a tie.
42 seconds left in overtime. Somebody's going to have to do something here.
Kerwin Hurd is putting a world of hurt on Alex Lammers.
You know, just a word about Kerwin Hurd. You know, he only was able to wrestle half the year this season, and he started wrestling 2 years ago as a 45-pounder. Obviously, he's grown a little bit. He hasn't had the wealth of 8 years experience, you know, youth wrestling that some of the other guys have had, but boy, he's a natural talent here, and he's really, you know, come a long ways. His match in the semifinals against Andy Horvat was, who was a 2-time state champion, was really an excellent match.
Excellent match.
And
there he picks up 2 more points from it.
He could easily be wrestling for 2nd as well as 3rd, you know.
Yeah, with a little bit of luck in the draw, Hurd would definitely, I think, be in the championship finals.
But you know, we've got Joe McCaffrey in that match, who Hurd had beaten twice this year. So again, luck of the draw. But you know, having Cincinnati finish 2nd and 3rd to a potential 3-time state champ is not a.
Well, maybe McCaffrey will pull it off.
There we go. Well, that's true.
He's done a great job.
I shouldn't say that. You know. My apologies. Let's hope that I'm wrong in that. Misspoke myself.
Kerwin Hurd in the bottom match of Princeton against Alex Lammers of Wayne, and we've got an escape. Lammers gets the escape, and in the far match. What are we in tiebreaker up in that far match? We must be.
It is now.
And
Kenny Holden for 30.
That's Brady Morris in the offensive position. He's got to control his opponent, David Hudson, for 30 seconds. If Hudson escapes, he wins. If Morris rides him out.
Oh, be careful. Yep, that was fine. You know, and Morris doesn't have to do anything but ride him out. He doesn't have to score. He doesn't have to do anything except stay behind.
Oh!
With 9 seconds left.
Oh!
What a shame.
Oh, man, that is a sad thing there. Boy, right at the edge of the mat. Boy.
I kind of think maybe he thought they were going off, and
that's what I thought. I think
eased up a little bit.
He thought that they were out of bounds.
Yeah, could be. Uh-oh, Kerwin, get your hips up there, buddy.
It's 6-1 in the Hurd match.
Yeah, see, now that's where.
And that's the match.
That's the match.
Kerwin Hurd takes third place
for Cincinnati Princeton. 3rd place finisher. Nice job, Kerwin.
Yeah, there's a happy young man. Tom White, his coach, and the assistant coaches greet him at the corner. And we can be going over to pick up a heavyweight match now with Bruce Kennedy of
I think we're going to the St. X match, and then we're going to come back and give you the Kennedy match in its entirety.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You can see both of them there. Kennedy in the foreground in the blue and gold, and Nate Bain in the blue at mat 4 there. We'll finish.
Nate Bain came in with a 33-5 record. He's wrestling Andy McMichael of Shaker Heights.
Well, I think he's already wrestled. I think he beat him in an earlier round, first or second round.
I think you're right. That sounds familiar.
And
have to get the bracket out here.
I got it here somewhere.
Bain's in the blue and white of St. Xavier.
Actually, no, the guy that McMichael was in a different division, different bracket, so he hasn't wrestled him yet. But interesting, Nate Bain and Kennedy from Northwest wrestled in the previous round, and to decide who would go for 3rd and 4th and who would go for 5th and 6th.
Yeah, that was a rematch of the Cincinnati finals.
Section or districts. Okay, Nate's trying to get that underhook going, lock up the bear hug. That's his main takedown. So you can see the McMichael and Red's just backing up, and he's got bumped for a stalling call here. So Bain's underhooking. He's trying to get under. He's working. If he locks it up. Nate was working in the semifinals and was up with 4 seconds to go and got taken down and lost by 1. A real heartbreaker. Kept him from being in the finals.
Reaching in. Bain loves this bear hug.
That's what he.
If he hadn't, like you said, Greg, if he hadn't pressed so much with that, he'd be in the finals.
That should be 2.
I don't think they're going to give it to him. I don't think he had control. He was on top of him, but I don't think he controlled it. I don't know.
Well, it should be a stall call at the very least. 3-3 match right now. 24 seconds. Nope, they gave him the 2. Yep, he did get the takedown. .24 seconds.
Bain's attempts to cradle. McMichael.
Got to control those hips. He's getting the hips free.
Out.
Yeah.
He's got him out. That's an escape.
9 seconds to go. Bain's losing by 1, 4-3. Second period. Still got 1 period left.
And then on the mat immediately adjacent. Well, we'll be seeing it here in a minute.
Okay, 3rd period here.
Kennedy's locked up in the scoreless finals, and we probably have. I haven't been able to look to see, but we should have Ike Klepper up anyway. Oh, we missed the. Well, we missed the heavyweight match. Yeah. They had 3 of them at the same time, and one's already over. Ike Klepper of Batavia. And we apologize to the Batavia fans that we didn't get Ike's match on, but we only have so many people here that can cover things. But anyway, Ike Klepper ended up 4th in the state, and he lost to Chris Box of Liberty Center.
Well, there's Bain still trying to get that. There we go. He gave him the point. He keeps backing up. So Nate keeps the pressure on. Now he's got another penalty point. So if he can keep coming in and not just do it foolishly. See, that's what happened.
That's what caught him in the semis right there.
But now he's got to bring him back to the mat. Bring him to the mat. There we go, just like that. Oh, you got to take him down though, Nate. There you go. Where's your toes?
Nope. I think they were out.
Out of bounds.
But I think that McMichael, I think he dove out.
Right.
Frankly.
I think and the associate ref or the backup ref is are going to call something.
57 seconds. 4-4.
They're going to discuss this. The refs are going to discuss what the call here. See what 2-point takedown. They gave him the 2. He did have him locked up, and when he went to his knees, his feet were still in bounds, so it's a takedown. So 6-4 right now. And quite honestly, he should cut him loose because he does better on his feet.
He's indicating he's going to use the freestyle.
Well, he jumps on him, though.
But he jumps on him.
Yeah.
He's done that.
There we go. That's fine.
Then he lets him out.
Okay, 6. Now he should just keep coming in. but smart. There we go. Lock it up. Tell you, if his arms were 3 inches longer, he'd lock.
There was you remember Paul Anderson that wrestled for the U.S. in the Olympics years and years and years ago, about 400 pounds.
Yeah.
They had an East German, and I don't remember the guy's name, but the stories that went around it actually were that they literally put the guy on a rack and stretched his arms so that he could get a salto, and he hit Chris Taylor. There's a great photo of the guy hitting a souffle, actually.
On Chris?
On Taylor, yeah. And pinned him on it, touch pin.
I wouldn't want to lift 460 pounds up over the top of me.
Nate Bain.
6-5. There's 30 seconds.
6-5.
Actually, 10 seconds left, and there's the takedown. There we go, 8-5.
McMichael has to throw, tries to throw the head and arm. It's the only thing he's got to throw. And Nate Bain brings home the medal for fifth place to St. Xavier.
All right. We're probably going to go back to the other heavyweight match for third and fourth here. And exciting finish to that match. Tony and the Trucks got it on tape. We're going to bring it to you here almost live. Slightly Memorex, but
everything we do is slightly.
As you can see, they're already starting to move the mats. We'll go with a total of 3 mats for the finals, because all we'll do is have Division I, Division II, and Division III up, and for the finals of each weight class. Yeah. So there's Nate Bain, fairly happy with himself. Nice performance. Hey, Nate, how you doing,
Hi,
man?
Nate. How you doing?
Helps to win that last match, doesn't it?
I'll tell you, heavyweights are really different guys, aren't they?
Oh, this is interesting, because Nate's a former Waycross media consultant. He did some graphics for us a couple years ago, but he was wrestling reserve. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, that's a really great thing. Hi, Nate. Congratulations, man. Way to go, man.
Okay, we're going to the Kennedy match right now. Here we go. 0-0 score.
It's Bruce Kennedy in the gold and blue of Northwest. Bruce is going to end up being the highest placing wrestler in Northwest history. Our field director, our floor director, Chris Shoemaker, who was a Northwest coach for years and years and years, pointed out to us just a few moments ago. But, Big Bruce is going to do it all.
Unfortunately, this happened after Chris quit coaching. I don't know if that means, but I do know that Chris did teach him math, so maybe that's what had something to do with his high placement finish here.
Okay, that's Kennedy in the defensive position. His opponent's Jim Sweater of Brunswick. Sweater came into the tournament 34-1.
Wasn't he a former placer? Didn't he place last year? Or not?
I don't remember.
Maybe not. Possibly not. I guess not. Sweater has 3 pins under his belt. I know that.
Well, and according to the Brakeman report, Jim Sweater was projected to be the champion in this weight class, and here he is. Here he is wrestling for
third and fourth. Well, he's a pretty big dude, strong guy.
They go out of bounds. Since we're looking at a tape replay of this match, I keep looking out on the mat and they're moving it right now.
Yeah.
Greg, this is really disconcerting.
Wait, where'd he go? Huh? Well, I got to check something here.
This is the last match of the session. We'll be breaking here following this for some awards presentations, and then we'll be going to the championship finals. We'll recap the placers for Cincinnati area wrestlers here in just a moment before we clear the air. Bruce Kennedy and Jim Sweater at 275 in Division I, going for third place. It's a 0-0 match still. That's Sweater in the offensive position, top, trying to put the cradle in.
We won't be able to tell you how much time's left because
we can't see any scoreboards.
We can't see any scoreboards.
They've moved the scoreboard anyway. Oh, this is nothing. Being informed, knowing that there's only one source of true information, our trusted and dependent, our trusted dependent director in the truck tells us what the score is at the end. That's good because we haven't a clue either. It's still 0-0 at this point.
Okay, Sweater's working ahead pretty hard. He's keeping a lot of weight on Kennedy.
Kennedy's got to get some hand control in there. Because you let that big guy grab around.
Wears you out.
Oh, it's like carrying a house around on you all this time. We come to the end of the period, I believe.
Starting the third period. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, this is Bruce Kennedy of Northwest in the offensive position. It's a 0-0 match. This is for third place. Division I 275-pound consolation finals.
Just keeping the weight on him, keeping Sweater down. Notice neither of them really. Oh, come on, tip him a little bit more. Neither of these wrestles has a very good stand-up there. You know, that's what you want to do when you're 270 pounds. Get up off the mat.
You're darn too.
Get that weight off.
You don't want those guys to lay on you out there. That's no fun. Kennedy's trying to work that wrist bar out and get it into a tilt series. There, he's getting him up to a tilt. Can't expose the back.
But he's working.
That's hard to do now. You stop and figure he's trying to pick up 270 pounds basically with one arm. That's right. That's a major accomplishment.
Okay, back to the middle. I don't know what sure they called that.
Yeah, I don't know what they call it.
Yeah, we got bloody nose here.
I'm not sure that.
Maybe he just doesn't feel too well.
I think he doesn't feel well is what I think.
Well, you know, these 275-pounders, they don't have to skip many meals. There's no need for them to miss breakfast.
Bruce may have put away half of Bob Evans up there this morning. Well, we are ready to resume now, and going to get things going here for Bruce Kennedy, the gold and blue of Northwest, Jim Sweater of Brunswick, in the blue and white.
Brings him back to the mat. Kennedy's bar takes him out of bounds.
Indicated the red wrestler on the scoreboard anyway. If you hear unusual sounds in the background during this broadcast, it's because this is a tape delay on a tape delay.
But we're doing it live, so live to
tape delay to tape delay. Yes, that's it.
All right, out of bounds.
Out of bounds. Well, I'm going to review while this match is proceeding, Greg. I'm going to go back over our area finalists here.
Well, you know, the other thing we can do before we do that, there was a number of wrestlers we never even mentioned that got up here.
That's
we probably
true.
ought to do that right now. And including Josh Nieheisel from Oak Hills, Kenny Lambers from Elder, Arlen Lampy, Glen Estey, Dan McCarthy from Anderson, You had Josh Strunk from Harrison, Barney Weihoff from Fairfield, Joe McCabe at 140 for St. X, Zach Pace at 145, and Sean Shanklin from Fairfield at 152. Chris Niehaus from Harrison.
Talawanda, isn't he?
Yes. Yeah, Pace from Talawanda, excuse me. Jeremy Gerwe from Milford. Vince Caraher, also from St. X. Brent Livingston, 171-pounder from Sycamore. Richie Root, 171-pounder from Lakota. Bob Lehman at 215 from Oak Hills.
You got to remember it's Lakota East.
We don't want heavyweight Mike Strassel, Jeff Ramsey from Fairfield, and Bruce Kennedy we're looking at, of course.
Bruce is still over there.
He's still
not
there.
Feeling well.
Division II, Richard Burns from Hillsboro. I think placed two-time qualifier. Nate Lynch from Turpin. Matt Johnson, Claremont Northeast. Dave Castile, 171-pounder from Loveland. Steve Williams, a 275-pounder from Purcell. Chris Rogers, 112-pounder from Purcell. Nate Lynch from Turpin. We mentioned him earlier. How about, let's see, Tim Kelly, 125-pound from Reading, Division III. Gerald Gertz, Lachlan, 135-pound. Robbie Phillips, Bethel Tate, 135. Joe Godby and Mike Sherlow, 140 and 152-pounders from Lachlan. Lachlan sent three of them. We saw them at your Finneytown Invitation.
That's right.
Dustin Wilson from Reading at 171. And Brandon Fabian, I think, is from Bethel Tate. And Ike Klepper we didn't get to see at 275-pounder from Batavia.
Yeah, and the guys that got through here and wrestled here in the consolation rounds, Nick Patola placed 5th from Elder at 103. At 119 pounds, Josh Thompson of Bethel Tate took 3rd. At 125 pounds, Mike Weihoff of Fairfield placed 6th. Justin Wilcox at 125 took 5th or 3rd place. At 112 pounds, Tony Brock of North Bend Taylor ended up 6th. Omar Scruggs of Sycamore was 5th. Casey Abrams of Lebanon.
Kennedy's got 5th. The leg.
Chris Benatti of Lakota West.
Still got the leg. No points
5th.
yet. He got it. All right.
And Bruce Kennedy comes out as the victor.
After almost being put to his back.
That's right, and being extremely ill on top of it.
Wins the match.
Brian Floyd of Hamilton Ross placed 6th. Brady Morris of Harrison was 6th. Kevin Hurd, 3rd for Princeton. Nate Bain, 5th. And now we have 3rd place taken by Bruce Kennedy of Northwest. This has been Waycross Community Media's coverage of the Consolation Finals. You see our camera operators and all the important volunteers that made this possible. This is Dave Bean for all of our coverage here, and Greg Klein, and
we'll be back for the finals.
We'll be back for the finals in a few minutes. So long now.
This has been a production of the Waycross Community Media, the Access Partnership of Forest Park, Green Hills, and Springfield Township. Opinions expressed are those of the program's participants and do not necessarily represent the Community Programming Board, volunteers and staff of the Waycross Media Center, the community governments, or the cable company. If you have questions regarding this program, or if you would like to participate in the activities of Waycross Community Media, call 825-2429, or write Waycross Community Media, 2086 Waycross Road, Forest Park, Ohio, 45240.